Good morning, ladies. Happy Tuesday. I hope this message finds you well. It is Tuesday. I have been up since 3:30 this morning. It's about 4:25 now. Can't fall back to sleep as much as I'd like to fall back to sleep, because I know if I fall back to sleep, then it's going to be a struggle to wake up. So might as well get up. Might as well get up. I got thousands of things to do anyway, so it's no big deal. But we're going to get this day going, and we're going to get it off starting right. Bible study today is on 1 Samuel chapter 27 and 28. And then tomorrow we'll finish up the last few chapters before we begin 2 Samuel. But hopefully your Monday was okay. Mine was extremely busy. There's just a lot going on. However, it's all good. I cannot complain. Oh, excuse me. I cannot complain. But let's do this. Let's hop on to our Bible study for today. Verse 1 goes like this. And David said in his heart, "Now I shall perish someday by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should speedily escape to the land of the Philistines. And Saul will despair of me to seek me any more in any part of Israel. So I shall escape out of his hand." Then David arose and went over the 600 men who were with him to Achish, the son of Maach, king of Gath. So David dwelt with Achish at Gath, he and his men, each man with his household, and David with his 2 wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelites and Abigail the Carmelites, Nabal's widow. And it was told Saul that David had fled to Gath, so he sought him no more. Verse 5, then David said to Achish, I think that's how it's Achish, Achish, "If I have now found favor in your eyes, let them give me a place in some town in the country that I may dwell there. For why should your servant dwell in the royal city with you?" So Achish gave him Ziklag that day, Ziklag. Therefore Ziklag has belonged to the kings of Judah to this very day. Now the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was 1 full year and 4 months. And David and his men went up and raided the Geshurites, the Girzites, and the Amalekites. For those nations were the inhabitants of the land from old, as you go to Shur, even as far as the land of Egypt. Whenever David attacked the land, he left neither man nor woman alive, but took away the sheep, the oxen, the donkeys, the camels, and the apparel, and returned and came to Achish. Verse 10, then Achish would say, "Where have you made a raid today?" And David would say, "Against the southern area of Judah, or against the southern area of the Jerahmeelites, or against the southern area of the Kenites." David would save neither man nor woman alive to bring news to Gath, saying, lest they should inform on us, saying, "Thus David did." And thus was his behavior all the time he dwelt in the country of the Philistines. Verse 12, so Achish believed David, saying, "He has made his people Israel utterly abhor him. Therefore he will be my servant forever." Chapter 28, verse 1. Now it happened in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for war, to fight with Israel. And Achish said to David, "You assuredly know that you will go out with me to battle, you and your men." So David said to Achish, "Surely you know what your servant can do." And Achish had said to David, "Therefore I will make you one of my chief guardians forever." Now Samuel had died, and all Israel lamented for him and buried him in Ramah in his own city. And Saul had put the mediums and the spirituists out of the land. Then the Philistines gathered together and came and encamped at Shunem. So Saul gathered all Israel together, and they encamped at Gilboa. When Saul saw the army of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart trembled greatly. And when Saul inquired of the Lord did not answer him, either by dreams or by Urim or by the prophets. Then Saul said to his servants, "Find me a woman who is a medium, that I may go to her and inquire of her." And his servants said to him, "In fact, there is a woman who is a medium at Endor." Verse 8, so Saul disguised himself and put on other clothes, and he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, "Please conduct a seance for me, and bring up for me the one I shall name to you." And the woman said, "Look, you know what Saul has done, how he has cut off the mediums and the spiritualists from the land. Why then do you lay a snare for my life to cause me to die?" Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, "As the Lord lives, no punishment shall become upon you for this thing." Then the woman said, "Whom shall I bring up for you?" And he said, "Bring up Samuel for me." Verse 12, when the woman saw Samuel, she cried out with a loud voice. And the woman spoke to Saul, saying, "Why have you deceived me? For you are Saul." And the king said to her, "Do not be afraid. What did you see?" And the woman said to Saul, "I saw a spirit ascending out of earth." And so he said to her, "What is his form?" And she said, "An old man is coming up, and he is covered with a mantle." And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed down. Now Samuel said to Saul, "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up?" And Saul answered, "I am deeply distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God has departed from me and does not answer me any more, neither my prophets nor my dreams. Therefore I have called you, that you may reveal to me what I should do." Then Samuel said, "Why do you ask me? Seeing the Lord has departed from you and has become your enemy, and the Lord has done for himself as he spoke by me. For the Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hand and given it to your neighbor David." Verse 18, because you did not obey the voice of the Lord, nor execute his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore the Lord has done this thing to you this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with you into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow you and your sons will be with me. The Lord will also deliver the army of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Verse 20, immediately Saul fell full length on the ground and was dreadfully afraid because of the words of Samuel. And there was no strength in him, for he had not eaten food all day or night. And the woman came to Saul and saw that he was severely troubled, and said to him, "Look, your maidservant has obeyed your voice, and I have put my life in my hands and heeded the words which you spoke to me. Now therefore please heed also the voice of your maidservant, and let me set a piece of bread before you, and eat, that you may have strength when you go on your way." Verse 23, but he refused it. And said, "I will not eat." So his servants together, the woman urged him, and he heeded her voice. Then he arose from the ground and sat on the bed. Now the woman had a fatted calf in the house, and she hastened to kill it. And she took flour and kneaded it, and baked unleavened bread from it. Verse 25, so she brought it before Saul and his servants, and they ate. Then they arose and went away that night. Okay, and just so you know, during Saul's time, the term medium meant in Israel meant one who consulted the dead on behalf of the living. Witchcraft had flourished in the nations of Israel and had been commanded to expel during the conquest of the Promised Land. Though the medium likely was pagan, they knew their craft was forbidden. And that is all for today's Bible study, ladies. Pray for me. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. It's all good. I'll get through it, as I'm sure the rest of you are. Especially you will too, because that's part of adulting, right? I tell my kids all the time, as much as you might not want to, listen, just the way adults don't want to, adulting must go on. So let's have an awesome day. I hope you ladies are receiving some good word from it. I mean, we're getting through the book, and we're going to be starting to read a lot more this summer. So I am ready for the journey. Let's get this day going. Have an awesome day. Stay blessed.